Hey guys, bit of a sad one today. It's Friday, the D-Max goes back Monday, and that's pretty much it. We've had this D-Max for a while and it goes back, and I don't think we're getting a replacement, but it has been a solid unit for us, and yeah, it's been very helpful to us, I've got to say. Towed a lot of cars, hauled a lot of engines, and just hauling people around from point A to point B, and getting me to work and back quite a lot. And I think we're nearly 35,000 Ks we put on it. So we put a fair few Ks on it, which is really good. And it hasn't missed a beat. I mean, you kind of expect that from new cars these days, but you know, there's new cars and then there's new cars. And this is certainly in the upper end of the spectrum. But anyway, I'll walk and talk while I'm doing stuff, and I'll give you my thoughts on what's good and what's bad. And to be honest, the bad list is pretty small. So I've got to clean stuff out while I'm getting things prepared for its return. So we've got a bit of Barra stuff there, which you may have some interest in, because we're preparing an engine for Turbo Taxi. So that's all Barra bits. These are Barra bits. The engine's sitting up in the shop there. Walk with me. Excuse the mess. I do have to do a serious cleanup on this place again. So, Barra bits for Turbo Taxi. That is our engine for Turbo Taxi, built by Dandy Engines. You'll see that video soon, actually probably later in the week. Forged pistons, good rods, properly built, and yeah, it's probably the best Barra we've ever had. So that'll be going in Turbo Taxi soon. So that's awesome. I've also been collecting bits for, where are those bits? I don't know, missing. Bits for this. To Jay-Z. No shit. Yeah, that's right. We're going to start preparing this to go in the trial bow. But it won't be a 2J, it'll be a 1.5J. So 1JZ head on 2J bottom end makes a 1.5J, so 3 litre bottom end. The 1J head is pretty good, not quite as good as the 2J, but it will make good power, good solid power. And that means the trial bow is going to go even faster than it does now, which is, you know, it runs 9.8 at 138 mile an hour. It's going to be even faster. That's right. Also got some other goodies. Like matching rear wheels for the back of the trial bow. All right, some 15x7s to go on the back of the trial bow. So it'll have matching rear wheels all the way around. We're obviously going a bigger turbo on MX-5. So it's getting the G42, and that's going to happen before Summer Nats. So we're going to take the Summer Nats. We're also going to do racing at the Ford Nats. So if you want to see MX-5 run, come and see us at the Ford Nats, because we're going to run MX-5 and probably Turbo Taxi. That's right, Turbo Taxi should be running within the next 4 weeks and racing. So yeah, but anyway. Continue my clean out. But gotta love the D-Max. I mean, heaps of room in the back here. I love this cantilever style or accordion style tonneau cover. A few different models of cars using, but I think it works really well. Certainly worked well on the D-Max. It's copped a couple hits, unfortunately, from sliding engine blocks and stuff like that, but that's just part of doing business, isn't it? But hard tub liner, the thing is just great. So hauled a lot of engines, hauled a lot of spares and parts, and just race components to the track. So it's been a good unit. And tough. more barra bits. So just doing the little clean out. What's this? Fuel dockets, which is great. Oh, I thought they were time slips actually. No time slips, all fuel dockets. However, the thing is great on fuel. Like you fill it up, get 1,000 Ks to a tank, which is great. Obviously a little bit less when you're towing, but still, this thing's towed everything we've put behind it and without a drama, you know, it's been beautiful. Up, down hills, whatever, just purrs along. 3 litre turbo diesel, she's a killer. So, been really happy with that. I guess if there was any complaint I had to make about this car, it's probably the sensitivity of the automatic braking. You know, you can come up on a sharp turn and, you know, the guardrail will set off the automatic braking, which can be a little bit frustrating. Had that happen once or twice, especially in traffic too, like really busy traffic. You might end up with, you know, you end up being a little bit close behind somewhere and all of a sudden it'll jerk on the brake and, you know, the guy behind you is totally unprepared and he nearly runs up your date. So I guess if that's probably the biggest complaint I've got about it. But everything else, you know, it's comfortable, it's powerful, it tows everything. It's just a great car, you know. We had it loaded up for Drag Challenge weekend. I think we're 4 up in this thing. No complaints from anyone. Everyone was comfortable. Did a lot of miles, and obviously we've done a lot of miles with it. So it's going to be sad to see it go, to be honest. What's going to replace it? Not sure yet. I think I'm getting a Raptor for a week, which will be interesting. Be interesting to see what the new Ford Raptor's like. V6 twin turbo thing. It's supposed to be pretty quick, but yeah, the D-Max, it's been with us for a while now, and like I said, it's been a solid unit. So what else is going on in the workshop? Let's go have a look. Right, so as I've mentioned, Volvo is getting 1.5 JZ, Mazda's getting G42 turbo, so they're going to be both making more power. Dad's Ute, that video dropped today about us fixing it and then breaking it straight away. So I've already ordered the little adjuster for the rocker. That'll be on its way right now. It's already on its way. And so we'll get that late next week, I think. So once that's in, we can get that in. Like it's a, you know, once I put the adjuster and the rockers back on, the thing, it'll take like an hour tops. And that's me being conservative. An hour to fix. By the time, you know, adjuster in the rocker, rockers on, adjust them all, an hour, you know. Then we'll put it on the dyno, check how the new ignition system's going with it. That'll be really good. And then we can race it. So hopefully it'll be low 13, like the converter. Like if you've seen the video, you know, we took it, stalled it up, went to $3,000. Boom. That's exactly what it needs. $3,000 converter. This thing is going to rip at the drag strip. Low 13s, high 12s is what we're hoping. If it doesn't go into the 12s, then I'll do the diff gears and that'll put it in the 12s. So, no fear, Dad's Ute will be running soon. As I said, turbo taxi, there's a motor sitting over there. That's going in the taxi. I might ship that down to the boys at Max Performance, get them to put the motor in, not because we can't, we've done it 1,000,000 times. And that's the problem. We've done it 1,000,000 times. No one wants to watch that anymore. So, we'll hand the motor off to the boys, get them to put it in the taxi. We'll just pay them to do the job and they'll give us the taxi back all running. Simples. And it frees us up to do things like the VN. And you go, what's happening with the VN? Well, I want to run the new bigger throttle body on it. I've got to fix the O-rings that were leaking at Holden Nats earlier in the year. That seems like a long time ago. And the Stroker V6 is almost ready. So we've got a Stroker V6. We're going to have that in probably the next week or so. We can put the Stroker in there and go and see what the Stroker runs. That'll be fun. And then we're going to turbo it and do other things. And then, it won't be this year, because this year's kind of booked out. Then we can get onto the Lexan and our 1UZ V8. All the parts are here. They're all here. They're all waiting to go on, but I've been sidetracked by shiny objects. And so yeah, all the parts are there to go. onto that V8 motor up the back there. That can go in the Lexan. We can do our V8 Lexan project, but that will be early next year. So that's where we're at with the Carnage updates, I think, for the moment. I've got to get Dad's ute fixed, clear some space in here, then I'm going to move some other stuff around, make things happen. You may have noticed the Torana's up the back corner there. It's hiding. We'll get into that in the new year as well. And I was hoping to do Mr. Dodgy for Summernats, but I'm starting to think that's not going to happen because we've got that 6.4 Hemi there. And Mr. Dodgy's sitting there with no motor in it. And it kind of makes sense to put them together. Now, I know I've had that 6.4 set aside for my own wagon for a long time, but I'm kind of like, at this point, it's there. Why don't we use it in something? Because that wagon's going to be a much longer term project, so maybe we throw it in Mr. Dodgy. Don't know if it fits. I'm sure it will, but yeah. So that's where we're at. We're going to have a busy next sort of 8-9 weeks leading up to Summernats because I've got 2 cars entered for Summernats. It was MX-5 and maybe Mr. Dodgy, but it might be MX-5 and something else. Either way, whatever we do, you'll see on future episodes of Carnage.